one day I'm just going to sit my daughter down when she's old enough and be like, your dad hasn't been able to watch a full movie since like 2019. Let's just start with that frame of reference there. Now, every conversation we have going forward, you'll know what's wrong with me, and we can just, no love lost, no hard feelings.
That is the perfect way to do that, yeah.
Dad?
Who is my daddy, and what does he do?
Dad?
Daddy, chill.
Dad?
This is the dad voice.
Phil, we really got this one locked down. We know what's going on with us, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I've noticed since we started talking about it more? I've had a lot of friends come up to me and say, hey, I think I might have it.
Yeah.
And I go, what do you, gonorrhea? What? What do you mean?
Cancer?
And they go, yeah, the big C. We're getting older, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta look out for that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and your rectum. Wow.
And they're like, no, ADHD. So that inspired me. I think today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what it looks like in people who are either undiagnosed or more recently diagnosed, because something that happens a lot lately that I've seen. Mom and dad talk to teacher. Teacher says, hey, I think your kid's got the ADHD or the autism. They go and get the kid tested. They talk to doctor. Doctor says, yeah, this is what you're looking for. This means you have it. And then all of a sudden, dad realizes, hey, that's me.
He's like,
yeah. And where do you think they got it from, bud? I hate to tell you, it's you. So,
oh, thank God, it's my child.
Yeah. So there we go. That's what we're talking about today. This is the Dad Voice Podcast. I'm Cole.
I'm Phil.
And I tried to bring the sports hype to that one. You know what
I mean? I almost did the thing, but you can tell where I'm at. Yeah,
it's a dad blast. We gotta truck through this one because you need to go to bed, my friend. That's what we're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna talk about some of the things that when were you diagnosed? Let's start there. When were you diagnosed?
I think it was like just under 10 years ago.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, so you're a late bloomer.
Yeah, I'm a adult onset or whatever the fuck it's called.
So, dude, I was diagnosed back when they thought there was a difference between ADD and ADHD.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're a more classical type.
Yeah, I'm an old school.
No, because I was always really good at school, so it never started presenting problems to me until after school.
Yeah, I wasn't good at school. I'm an old school R word, you know?
Like, yeah. I'm just a new school R word. I wish I could switch that. Like, I wish I did worse in school, but was better at life.
No, you don't. I promise you don't. I promise you, school was miserable for me. And that was like one of the things, because I knew I was diagnosed. I took Adderall since 8 years old, you know. One of the things that was like weird for my parents was I was like marathoning Harry Potter books in my bedroom before the diagnosis. In third grade, I was like, I read the first, second, and third book all in a weekend. And they were like, there's no way.
They're like, so he's not a moron.
They were like, well, they were like, there's no way, because we just watched him just like stay in his room and read all weekend. And the teacher was like, he's showing some signs. So they took us in, and believe it or not, my mother found out that she also had ADHD through me getting tested for it.
Go figure.
Yeah, crazy how that works, huh? But that kids first is like that's like the kids always come first, and that's like the trigger that kind of fires the shot.
Yeah.
And then you realize it kind of like settles in. But for me, like, I always knew it, but I never, like, we have done more explaining in our episodes of this podcast than anybody ever did for me on what the symptoms look like.
Yeah.
And what any of that is.
I mean, me too, honestly. Like, I've learned way more about myself doing this.
Yeah. And
than I previously knew.
I think the biggest thing for me was when I first saw the ADHD iceberg, right? Like, we've talked about it ad nauseum at this point. For those who might be just tuning in, if this is your first time watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, the ADHD iceberg is just a big diagram. If you're going to watch, I'll probably put a picture of it up here. Let me pull up my image that I have here. Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, it was made of ice. I remember that.
Yeah, it's just a big...
There was some words.
We all know the concept of the iceberg, right? Like the iceberg is a metaphor for a lot of things, but like you see the surface symptoms, and then underneath there's a lot more going on that you don't know is necessarily part of that. For ADHD, we have our, trouble focusing, fidgeting, talking a lot, and God knows the talking a lot should have been a dead giveaway. If anybody's ever fucking
You're a diagnosed yapper.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. I can't stop. I cannot stop because I'm afraid of what happens when it's silent. Like I was just explaining in the dad blast, like everybody comes off as passive aggressive to me, and when they're not talking, I just think they're pissed at me. There's never a moment where I assume someone is content being quiet around me.
You just constantly talk to keep them from saying the insults they're actually going to say to you.
Yeah.
You're like, if I take all the air up in the room, they won't have any.
Exactly. So you're a yapper, might want to get it checked out. Now, you're a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Like you got diagnosed late. I didn't get diagnosed late. So you are going to have a lot more expertise on that area, because we also will run into not just undiagnosed dads that think they need to get checked out, but late diagnosed dads. Dads who didn't figure it out, and not just dads, right? Parents, people that were diagnosed late or are undiagnosed but can't afford the fucking payment to go get diagnosed, but you're like, holy shit, that's me. Now, I am going to do the self-promotion thing, but if you go back into our catalog of episodes, kind of just skim the titles and see if any of those kind of speak to you. And if they do, you might benefit from watching those, because we talk about financial instability. We've talked about
they're like, no,
loss.
I can't focus.
Yeah. Well, executive dysfunction.
Boy, there's a lot of them.
Poor impulse control we've hit on already. What is it?
Choice paralysis.
What's the word? Recalling commonly used words. You have trouble with that.
Retrieval.
That was such a bad attempt at a joke.
Oh, it was.
But
I think I'm just autistic.
Yeah. But see, that to me was a hilarious autistic joke.
I was sitting there going, come on, you got it, man.
Come on,
you
buddy.
got it.
Come on. Sleep problems. Which we should do a whole episode on that. I don't think we've done one on sleep yet, but we should. I think I have. What week is it? I think next week I have health scheduled. Health and fitness.
The only reason I have good sleep is because I've just every day exhaust myself to the point where you have to. Yeah.
But that's another interesting thing that I noticed in adults that are undiagnosed is like everybody thinks ADHD it's the top of the iceberg, right? Hyperactivity and just go and just can't stop, and you're always the motor never stops. But really,
a lot of it is the mind going, and the body will follow sometimes.
And you burn through a day almost quicker than a normal person does, right? Like a neurotypical person uses their brain and conserves brain power and conserves physical energy because they know, all right, I got to get through this day. The ADHD brain doesn't account for any of that. And all of that is done subconsciously. Nobody consciously goes, okay, now I need to walk at exactly this many paces.
Yeah. Like every day is just screaming through a bunch of different tasks and stuff where you're staving off the existential dread, and then you try to get yourself tired enough to pass out.
Fucking bingo. Exactly that. And so a lot of people, they just think that that's adulthood, because as a kid it looked different, right? As a kid, you were locked in a classroom and you either were head down, paying attention, getting everything together, and like you were doing the same thing, but as a kid it seemed different because you then immediately got to go home and just chill, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what phone and bedtime is for us now.
Yeah. But there's also those of us who don't do great in school, so you just trudge through the day however you can. Then by the end of the day, you're like, all right, now I need to go get into a space that is mine, that I can be content with. And I had a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B when I was in high school, because, like we've talked about, my mother owned her own business, operated out of the house. She would make me wake up early, work for her, go to school, come back, work some more. So I did have moments where I was like exhausted by the end of the day. But then there was other moments where I just I wasn't tired. My brain was still just fucking going and going and going and going. But physically, I was just like, I've expended all my energy. I just need to sit, but I need to be the fuck away from everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because, when you're physically exhausted, but your mind is still racing, that's when it's really easy to get, like, fucking irritable and stuff, too. Because
Especially
you're like, I can't shut it off.
Your body doesn't have the energy to get up and do what you need to do. Your body doesn't have
and it
the
makes you
energy
anxious
to get up and go play with the kids. So now,
God, my body failed me.
the kids are wanting to go outside and play, and you don't want to be a shit dad. So you're like, I gotta go play with my fucking kids. And then,
So then you just stand there staring at them while they run around just like some weirdo.
you're like,
Just like, is that the Hat Man?
how many Benadryl did you take?
Is that man real?
It is Benadryl season, baby.
It is.
It's Benadryl
Boy,
season.
one day we're going to do an episode where we just take a Benadryl every, 5 minutes until something happens.
I still want to do an episode where we take Ambien and
Yeah.
just stay the fuck
Dude,
up.
we have to.
The Ambien.
And we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
An ambient episode.
An Ambien episode, and we're just going to fucking talk crazy amounts of wild nonsense.
Yeah, except this time, instead of me throwing the headphones down onto the keyboard and messing up the audio, it'll just be my head, and the audio will be like...
And it'll hear me choppy as fuck because I'm just still speaking. I'm
like,
going, I'm going, so the leaves in the trees are turning into firehawks. And people are like, what the fuck is going on? And YouTube's flagging us for, they don't know what. 'Cause
that'll
we
have to
don't-
be a Patreon one, too.
Yeah, we don't openly admit to being on Ambien.
The Patreon episode structure would just be the most wild shit. It would just be me getting diagnosed with autism, us overdosing on Ambien and going crazy, like all-time Patreon.
Me getting an MRI to see if my headaches and and fucking tinnitus are from a brain tumor.
Like, dude, I slipped a piece of metal into the hole in his ear where it goes in.
Hey guys, we get to vote on my brain tumor name, so make sure you subscribe to the Patreon so you
Oh
can name
shit!
it.
What if the piece of metal I put in his ear actually gets sucked through the other way and it just goes straight through his head?
Just fucking kills me.
Getting Phineas gauged. That's a deep psychology joke.
Yeah, that's the guy who got the railroad spike through his head, right? Yeah, that's fucking nice. Nice. I like that reference. That's a good reference.
Thank
buddy.
you.
So, if you start on a linear line of thought like that, and
then I
just
became him.
and just end up, with your traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
But this derailment, hey, if you do that shit a lot, got news for you, bud.
Look at you. You stumbled your way on us.
Yeah, you.
The algorithm guided you.
They did. The algorithm is your spirit guide, and it's like, hey, buddy, you might want to get tested.
Hey, but yeah.
Another thing that I think that I've been noticing lately, and I think that a lot of people misunderstand ADHD people and autistic people when they do this. This is a core habitual thing that people, neurodivergent people in general, do, is we tend to tell story. Like, you're telling me a story, right? You're telling me something that happened. You say, I went to the store, and on the way there, I was on the highway and a guy was blowing a tire, and he was blowing the Michelin Man. And I go, hey, that's funny. You know, I was also one time at a truck stop and I saw a guy blowing the Michelin Man.
You know what? I blew a guy at a Travel Centers of America one time.
And people,
Can I relate to you? Are we relating now?
is this relatable?
Yeah.
To you? And that's what
Friend?
we're trying to do, right? So when neurodivergent people tend to do that, it's not them trying to make it about themselves, which a lot of neurotypical people receive it that way. They think, I'm
Like,
just
you fucking narcissist.
yeah, like, can you stop every fucking time you talk to me having a goddamn story that relates? And again, we go back to me thinking the entire world is passive aggressive and pissed off at me. But
What if they are?
I need you to not do this right now. Okay. I'm losing my mind. But when I go and I have a conversation with someone and they tell me a story and I go, oh, here's my similar story. It's not me trying to make the conversation about myself. As a matter of fact, I'm so invested in what you're saying that I want you to understand that I understand by telling you my story.
Yeah,
in return.
I'm so invested in what you're saying that my brain just went through the fucking Rolodex and found a similar situation.
Yeah, you're uncovering memories trauma had beaten back.
Yeah.
Just so I can tell you my story. Because that's how invested I am. But people don't understand that. And it makes you seem arrogant and it makes you seem self-centered. But that's not what it is, right?
It's weird. It's like this burning desire, too.
Yeah.
Like, you really feel it. You're like, God, I got to tell them that something tangentially similar happened to me once.
And you can... look, if you're new to this... You can go through... Most of the people I talk to on a day-to-day know who I am and they get it. Like, they already know to expect that. And I have probably explained it to them in some capacity.
That's why they're passive-aggressive to you.
Yeah, that's why everybody's passive-aggressive as fuck. But give a...
Is that the new, like, your mild version of gang stalking, but it's just people are passive-aggressive to you instead of actively stalking you?
Yeah. Sure. Yes. Yeah. That my whole life has been that. So I guess so. But yeah, it's just a
flash mob of people being passive aggressive to you. It's all a prank orchestrated by me.
Dude, let me tell you something. I have been in groups of friends, and this is obviously years ago because I've been married for a while. But a person will hit on me. Or flirt with me, and I don't know how to flirt, right? Look at me. I don't bring much to the table. It's not a common occurrence, right? So I will completely just fucking not acknowledge it. And
yeah, dude, me too. I just shut down. I'm like, oh.
And friends, I've had girls in the past. I say girls. One girl specifically that I remember was like, "Hey, I'm like trying to flirt with you right now," and I'm like, "Is that what that is?" But I've had friends like, "Hey, that girl's totally into you." And part one of my brain is like, "You're fucking with me because you want to watch me eat shit."
Yeah, I know.
And then part two of my brain is
snakes in the grass.
Yeah, she's being a sarcastic asshole. She's not
being passive aggressive.
Yeah, she's being passive aggressive. And turns out, yeah, I was wrong on at least one of those fronts. I still think they probably would have laughed if I crashed and burned. But,
yeah.
It is what it is.
It's because they're too afraid to crash and burn themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
They want to see the brightest stars burn.
They already had girlfriends.
And,
they were like the mama bird pushing the baby bird out of the nest, knowing you were going to fall.
It's funny that you say that because
one time I watched a mama bird push a bird out of a nest.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story. See, this is a perfect example, though, isn't it? Isn't it? I had a really bad string of girlfriends. I had one that I lived with in Wilmington for years. It was a bad breakup. Then I had one. She was I should tell that story, but I'm not going to tell it this time. She's a real shithead, right? It ended poorly, right? It ended really badly. And so I was on a bad breakup. My friends that I just moved in with some homies that were like helping me stay up. And all my friends were like, dude, you need to just go get laid. You need to sleep with a girl. And there was a girl that was in our friend group, and she was the sweetest girl. She was plenty cute, whatever. There was nothing wrong with her. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't even like an attraction issue. I've just never been the type to just fucking sling dick around like a fucking Wild West cowboy.
Yeah.
And so all of my friends were like, you need to get laid. She's into you. Like, go, we're having a party. We're getting drunk. Like, go do it. And I just got down to the moment, and we were in the bedroom together, and we were kissing and doing all that stuff, and I was just like, I can't. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. It doesn't feel right. And I didn't want her to think it was her, so I was like, I'm too drunk. And it just didn't, it wasn't right for me. And maybe it was because I thought she was passive aggressively making
probably, yeah. No, it was all a huge joke up until the moment.
So all that to say that even when I'm trying to do the thing that relates to people, there are still roadblocks in the way, and ultimately and I don't think that girl, I mean, there's no beef, but I don't think that girl will ever hear this podcast. But if she does, I just want to be very clear. It was nothing to do with you. It
I
just
am
wasn't-
also personally sorry.
Yeah.
Just because.
Phil is because he knows me, and
Yeah.
he knew you were taking one for the team, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, she was the one jumping on the grenade.
And I was the grenade.
You found that out mid moment.
She wasn't giving vibes like that, but I also felt bad because we were both intoxicated. It didn't feel right. It felt dirty, and it just, and that's not who I am. And I didn't know this girl well enough to know if I'd want to go get breakfast with her. And I wanted to know her before that. We never talked again, but I wanted to know more about her.
You got your answer.
I'm glad that everything has led up to this moment. I'm glad that things didn't work out with certain people because I wasn't able to make those connections, right? Because I'm happily married now with 2 beautiful kids, and I love my life, and I love my wife endlessly.
But you can't stop thinking about the fact that you might be the grenade.
There's no thought about it. I know I'm the grenade, okay? I just don't know why my wife laid on it and just decided to stay there for the rest of her life.
She's like, it's not exploded yet?
Yeah, that's another ADHD thing. Like
a curiosity
I don't know.
thing.
Are you always waiting for another shoe to drop?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Every good thing that ever happens.
Every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like every day.
Yeah, every single thing that happens, good, the shit happen. Waiting on the other shoe.
Yeah.
Honestly, my boss, one of my bosses, told us, he was like, "We're probably going to have some more.
Ice cream parties.
We're probably going to have some more staffing changes at the end of the month." And I was like, "Pass my security plus. That's the other shoe that's going to drop. I'm going to get fucking fired." So
Yeah.
here we go. And I hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for it. But that's the thing.
Me too. It'll be a good plot point in your story, a good character building moment.
Guess what? The editing on this fucking podcast is going to be so mint if I get fired.
That'd be wild. 4K. What the fuck?
We're going to have
Still using the same camera phone.
Peter Jackson over
I just said
here.
camera phone.
Camera phone.
Wow.
Phone camera. Camera mobile device. You remember when iPod... Do you remember that transition period where there were the iPods that were just the first iPhones without phone capabilities? And they were like,
Yeah.
now it's the iPod. And then they were just like, yeah, fuck that. It's just iPhones now.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of the iPod, which was a travesty.
The iPod Touch.
Yeah, that's it. It was called the iPod Touch because
Yeah.
it was the first touchscreen thing.
Yeah.
And then they just ended up turning them into iPhones.
Yeah, they were like, wait, we just shove a SIM card in this.
Yeah, and make them pay $1,000 a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them. Anyways, I'm talking a lot. I want to get some of your perspective on what it was like
Yeah, we're hella derailing.
late game diagnosis, because we've got a good 15 minutes where you can just talk about it, and
Yeah.
I think we can call it around that time. But I want to hear your thoughts on it before we close out. Like, what was it like? What pieces? What I really want to know is what pieces fit in all of a sudden when you found out you were ADHD.
Yeah, when you find out when you're an adult, it's one of those things where 90% of the shit is like a bunch of stuff in the past makes sense, but you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So you're just running back the game film and you're like, oh, this is why I did this. This is why I did this. So there's a lot of that, but then, you start thinking about, you do spend a good period of time after getting diagnosed and starting medicine over analyzing everything you yourself do, because you're like, am I being an ADHD dumb fuck right now? Like, no, yes, you are, because you're overthinking this. It's meta. It gets very meta.
Am I just an idiot, or is
Yeah.
this the ADHD? And
You could be an idiot with ADHD, I guess.
I know plenty of
I
them.
wonder if there's any animals that can be diagnosed as well. I'm derailing.
No, I mean, that's a good question, though. We should look into that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Animals that have ADHD. That's interesting. Because I've just always... But again, like I said...
It's one of those things where you get the medicine, but
see,
that's
and-
you never developed the tools starting at a young age to cope with it. So you're like, I'm just still raw dogging it, but I'm on speed.
the one perspective I wish you did have, because I want to know if it's normal. So if what I'm about to say resonates with you, please comment below and let me know it's not just me. But when I was young, I got diagnosed. I was put on Adderall, Strattera, Vyvanse. I've been through the fucking gauntlet.
I did a
speed.
tiny stint on Strattera.
Yeah, I've been through the gauntlet of speed though, right? Like I've really tried fucking all of them, and I hated all of them as a kid. I hated all of them as a kid. Now, Adderall is just not the same as what it was before. Like, it does exactly what I need it to. But when I was a kid, I was like, just
you feel like
grinding teeth,
jump out of your skin when you first start it. You're like
a robot, like no eating, very emotionless. And now I'm just like,
It's weird how it melds with your psyche after a while.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
take it or leave it, I
we'll
guess.
let the longitudinal studies.
I always think about the first day that I met your wife where she was like, "You're on your medicine?" And she's like, "I couldn't tell." And I was like, yeah, damn, because I'm still me.
Probably because you were yapping.
Dude, I yap. I'm a yapper. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
By the way, that's why you can't get in word in edgewise, which is good for nights like tonight where you're.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and I'm just like completely fucking dead.
Yeah.
Which doesn't combine well with ADHD because your attention span is everywhere.
Dude, let me tell you.
You like my attention span gets so fragmented that I can't see anymore. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? You're only seeing what's the thoughts that are in your mind. You're not even seeing what's actually in front of your face. Dude, does that happen to you?
Yes.
Like you actually legitimately are not looking at anything and receiving that shit through your eyes. You're only going through these scenarios in your head that are so real that just nothing in front of you exists.
It's also like we've talked about this before, but it's crazy to me that like, and I think you said you can't do this, but when I think of something, I can see it like in my head. And so if I start thinking about too many things, I'm seeing all of these things.
It's weird.
Like,
I can't see them in my head, but like I can feel them and like live the moments and stuff. I don't know. It's so weird.
Because it's, when I say that, it's not like a hologram project. It's not like a hallucination where...
Yeah, you're not rolling your eyes back like...
I'm thinking of SpongeBob and I'm looking at you and I just see SpongeBob on your shoulder.
Yeah, you're not like tripping balls.
But when I think of something, I just can visualize it in my head. If I close my eyes, I can see the image clearly. But I can also just conjure up the image in my head. If I want to draw something, I can pen to paper draw it out.
Yeah.
Apparently everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me.
And I do everything based on just like not how stuff looks in my head, but how it feels.
Yeah.
And I have like a little bit of the synesthesia too, and it's like different concepts or different colors and stuff. It's weird. It's not any useful kind like musical talent or anything. No. It's just
would never be lucky enough to get one of the cool kinds of this, god awful disorder. One other thing that I think most undiagnosed or newly diagnosed folks will benefit from hearing is talking about the rage a little bit.
Oh yeah.
The rage.
Yeah. There's a lot.
There's
not a lot of that, but there's a specific kind.
Point where you get just overstimulated and everything is just fucking closing in on you, and you just can't get that moment of peace. And that kind of like what I was talking about, where you're physically done, but your brain is still going, and it's just bam, 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 everything. Your kids are fucking yelling. Your wife is talking to you, and you're trying to be a good, attentive husband. And this is very personal, obviously. I'm talking from experience, but like then you're
about to jack slap me.
Yeah, dude, I love my child. I love both of my kids so much.
I love my kids, but
I love my 8-year-old with my whole heart. So I always want to listen to the stuff he's got to say, because I think every word that comes out of his mouth is beautiful. But sometimes he will not shut the fuck up about goddamn Poppy Playtime and Huggy Wuggy and Fortnite, and we're in season whatever the hell, and I want to be involved in what he's saying because that's what he's into. That's like he's so excited about it, and he wants to share that with me.
It's like in that moment you're kind of like R2-D2 and he's like C-3PO, because you know how C-3PO just was a fucking yapper.
Yeah, and R2-D2 is like, wow!
He's like, wow!
And I hate it because I also sit there and I hear him just yapping and I go, this is what it's like every day to talk to me.
I know. And then you're also like, fuck, I love this child. But it's crazy how you can love a child so much, but also kind of acknowledge that they low-key annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and dude, I can't tell you how many times I just glaze over and I go, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, okay, wow. And I've mastered the generic, that sounds crazy, buddy.
yeah.
You know?
Damn,
or,
that's crazy.
yeah. Or that's pretty cool, man. I don't know, man. You know, if I catch the last 5 words he says, I'm good. I can respond adequately.
Yeah.
And
that's all he needs to.
even knowing my diagnosis, it irks me a little bit about myself because I'm like, I don't want to be that dude.
I know. It's hard.
It is.
You have to force yourself to lock in when your kids are doing that, like, babbling gibberish to you, because it is important. That little gibberish they're doing and just all those thoughts running together, you can, like, really pick up on a lot of who they are as a person. And so you don't want to miss that. It doesn't have to make sense for you to be able to get a frame of what they're like,
yeah,
and what gets them going and all
as
that.
long as, and here's the secret. As long as they think you're engaged, you're not hurting their feelings by not actually being engaged.
Yeah.
That's a dad hack. Just listen to the last few words of every sentence and be able to respond adequately with a yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
whatever.
just parrot them.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, mirroring.
One day I'm just going to sit my daughter down when she's old enough and be like, your dad hasn't been able to watch a full fucking movie since like 2019. Let's just start with that frame of reference there. Now, every conversation we have going forward, you'll know what's wrong with me, and we can just, no love lost, no hard feelings.
That is the perfect way to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And the other one is my 3-year-old, you know, I've talked about this several times. He's in speech therapy. He's learning how to talk.
He's in yapper training.
He's not as talkative because he now...
It's because your other son's
Yeah.
the yapper.
He's still not using his words, even though when he's in a good mood, he'll talk all day long. But he does this thing now where if you say anything with a negative connotation, like you say, no, we don't want to throw that away right now or something, he takes that shit personally. Like, he's like, no.
He's like, we
no.
do.
Yeah, he's like, we do want to throw it away. And I'm like, no, buddy. You don't want to throw it away.
He's like, I'm going to not crumple it all the way, and I'm going to throw it right on top of
That's
the trash
a check
pile.
from the insurance company. Please don't throw it away.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get paid from the insurance company. That's a joke. But, you know. So, anyways.
What does it mean when I get checks from the insurance company?
That means you overpaid and they owe you money.
Oh, okay, good. Because I deposit them, but I was like, I hope this isn't some kind of scam.
Yeah, so if you pay for...
I'm very clearly not used to having health insurance. Like, this is a new thing for me.
Here's a little bit of trusty dad information for anyone in the American healthcare system. If you ever catch a check from an insurance company, take that small little W and fucking run. Run
Yeah.
to the bank, put that shit in there. They don't do it often, but normally that means that you had more coverage than you were initially told, and so if they have on file that you had already paid the bill, they just send the check to you.
I know they're
instead.
pissed sending me those checks. They're like, God, we didn't know this guy was so fucking clumsy. God.
Well, to be honest, they're probably relieved because they're like, he ain't gonna look at the bill and find out how much that we actually didn't pay.
Yeah.
So you know, I know the industry well.
Oh yeah.
It's scummy. Sorry.
The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah.
I like how I'd already deposited like 20 of them, and I was like, hey, by the way, should I have been doing that?
Should I have been doing that? What did you think you were supposed to do, though, is my question. Like, they wrote it out to you.
Sometimes a very obvious thing will just about smack me right in the fucking face, and I will miss it.
That's ADHD.
Yeah.
So
I think about everything but the most obvious reason. I'm the opposite of Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting these checks from my insurance company.
Your
and
Occam's great sword.
Yeah, my first thought is that someone is somehow trying to copy my bank account information by me cashing these checks. But they just keep sending them to me.
And you're just like, fuck, you have a stack, probably 10 grand worth of payouts, and you're like, I'm not depositing.
I'm like, dude, you can't tell my wife that I've been keeping this stack.
Always cash your checks.
Okay,
kids.
cool.
So that was a good little last rant. But to circle back to the rage thing, so I can put a bow on that before we start our closing arguments here. If you're being a dick, you're being a dick. I can't tell you that that's going to be okay.
Being a dick knows no diagnosis.
Right, but understanding why you're being a dick and being able to remove yourself from that situation is much more valuable.
Yeah.
And understanding that overstimulation and that chaos and the shaking and all the sound. And listen, if you've been like checking boxes this whole episode and you're like, man, this might be me. Let me ask you this. When there's too many fucking sounds, do you just get pissed off? When there's too many sounds at one time, do you just get pissed off? Or when there's a lot of sound
yes, I'm
around you-
listening to your podcast.
Yeah, when there's a lot of sound around you and someone just touches you, do you just get pissy? That's called overstimulation. Welcome to the club. That's what we do here, baby. We get overstimulated.
We
and get pissed
overstimulate
off.
ourselves on camera, and then we go home and take it out on our families.
That's right. Phil is going home to actively beat his wife and child.
I know. I love making jokes like that for some reason. It's kind of fucked up, but I'm not like that at all. It's funny. I actually try hard to be a good husband.
The joke is that you would never, I know you would never do that. Like if I thought maybe I
what
would
if I made a little
funny.
note on my phone? I'm like, Cole doesn't suspect a thing.
You can't wait to show him the new impression of him that I did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so dumb, I don't think of anything.
Yeah. Like walking out with your wallet.
No, Phil would never put hands on his wife or daughter, and that's why I can confidently make those jokes. The joke is not about domestic abuse. I'm a domestic abuse survivor, though, so
I thought you were about to say I'm a domestic abuser for some reason. I was like, well,
I'm a real piece of shit.
I'm like, I appreciate the honesty, I guess.
Oh, I used to be a real.
I mean,
piece of shit.
I try to look at the silver lining and everything. At least he's transparent.
Yeah, no. Don't do that. Never.
Yeah, don't do that.
I am a victim of domestic abuse. So if you're trying to cancel someone,
don't create a podcast.
Cancel Phil.
Cancel me.
Phil's
Is it domestic abuse if you're abusing yourself all day, every day?
No, it's just self-harm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Got to put a trigger warning for self-harm in here now.
Damn
Thanks,
it.
Phil.
Fuck, I'm just like flagging the algorithm up. I'm just spray paint tagging it right now. I'm basically, when we get to the end of the podcast and it's a day where I'm really fucking tired, I am like the grandpa that you let be at the microphone for a little too long. And it's just like, he's saying stuff. They're like, cut it off.
He's like, I fought in World War II, and I fought the Krauts, and listen, not all those boys were bad. Some of them had some good ideas. Yeah, all right, Grandpa.
Yeah, they're like, he's like, what? Separate but equal. You don't like equality?
That's not what we were talking about, Grandpa. Anyways, now that we've made all of our Nazi jokes,
we flagged it. We did every flag.
Yeah, we
the end.
The YouTube is like, these guys are speed
what a
running.
waste. YouTube is like, damn, they were doing great up until the end, and then they just hit every single flag. And
I'm pretty convinced that that's why all of our clips do well and our videos are slow to get views.
Yeah.
Because that YouTube's like, I see what you're saying in the full length. Oh, we'll take the clips and run with them.
Yeah.
No.
These pre-prescribed snippets that you're picking are okay sometimes.
Speaking of YouTube, like and subscribe if you're watching.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, if you're this deep in, you're gonna benefit from being a listener, or a viewer. So just hop on the train. We're gonna have fun. We make stupid jokes like, "Aha, I beat my wife," or "My grandpa was a Nazi," or whatever. None of that is real. But what we talk about,
the grandpa Nazi thing. We'll see.
You've got to stop.
I gotta see some
dead.
papers.
He fought for America. Phil keeps calling my grandpa a Nazi. Anyways, my dead grandfather, who served 40 years in the American military.
In the Luftwaffe.
You scumbag. Anyways, we do talk about the important ADHD stuff. At least I think it's
He
important.
fought for my freedom, and I'm shitting on him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You're a scumbag. You're like, yeah, that fucking old Nazi. And he was like the furthest thing from a Nazi that I can think of. Maybe not the furthest, but,
Yeah, I can think of some things that are probably further from being a Nazi
than the American military complex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Either way, my grandfather was a great man. We're not. This isn't about him. We're derailing on the closeout.
I know we can't do that.
Anyways, if you're listening on one of the other apps, make sure to follow us. Leave us a rating if you don't mind. We prefer good ones. If you don't like us,
We prefer good ones.
If you don't like us and you want to talk shit, I will read. You know what? That's going to be a thing. If you leave a 5-star review talking shit, I will read it on the episode. I will read it on the show, okay? And so you can tune in and hear me openly read your shit talk, and it's going to be hilarious.
I'm about to just create a bunch of fake accounts, and it's going to be a bunch of slurs, and I'll be like, you said you would do it. I'm going to make it like Jeopardy answers, and it's going to be like, my grandpa swore allegiance to which country?
What is America? Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We are almost at a year.
We are almost at 1 billion subscribers. Oh, I thought that's what you were going to say.
We're zooming in quick to a year. We're in the next episode or two, we will probably be able to announce our plans for the end of this season and the beginning of the next season.
Yeah.
So
big changes coming.
Big changes coming, as always.
Now we're doing that thing where we just talk about the podcast.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Not my dad. We did it, Dad.
Who is my daddy? And what does he do?